Sydney, the beautiful, mislabeled capital of Australia. The city with over 100 beaches, vibrant green spaces, and most importantly, the city where the iconic Anyone But You was shot. As an animal enthusiast and vet student, I've always dreamt of visiting Australia to witness all of the unique Australian wildlife firsthand. But with 5 million people condensed in a concrete jungle, the question was, would I be able to experience any of the amazing Australian wildlife here in Sydney? So join me as I go on a quest to have the ultimate animal experience in Australia's busiest city, Sydney.
So you know how your mom would tell you that before any major trip that you should list down everything that you need to pack and pack everything beforehand just so that you don't leave anything? Yeah, well, clearly I have not done any of that and my flight leaves in 3 hours. So with all this shit, we better start packing. Let's go.
On the outside looking in, I really wasn't sure what I was getting. Between the high waves on the sea, waiting for something to get to me.
The purpose of this trip was actually to attend the Exotic Vet Support Asia and Pacific Conference, a jam-packed 2-day event led by some of the best exotic vets in the world. But the event was still 6 days away, so while waiting, I wanted to make sure that I experienced as much of Sydney as I possibly could. I was staying in Surrey Hills with my cousin Ate Den, who has been living in Sydney for over a decade now, and she brought me around all of the best spots in the neighborhood before I headed to my first night out here in Sydney.
Alright, what's up vlog? First vlog of Australia. And so far it's been an amazing experience here in Sydney. It's such a beautiful city. Freaking hot today though. Parang Manila lang. I think the high today was like 35, 37. And it rained also, so humid. But yeah, after that, we hit up the pub. And look who's joining us today. Mr. Javi Vilches, Mr. Korean Hearts in the flesh. And yeah, right now we are heading over to... Fuck, what's the name of that?
We're getting off at Wynyard. We're going to Untied.
We're going to Untied. Oh, sige, paano na? Takbo, gago! But yeah, we're heading to Untied to meet up with Gab Veray, another recurring guest in the Roque's Modern Life vlog, and should be pretty fun. So far, off to a fantastic start here in Sydney.
We met up with Gab and their brother's friends from Melbourne in Untied Barangaroo to indulge in the unlimited alcoholic slushies and dope ambience. So we pounded a few before searching for the staple Aussie midnight munchie, the snack pack. It's a Mediterranean-inspired dish that has kebab strips over a mountain of chips/fries, and you can find these hearty dishes all over the city. It's a perfect way to cap off your night, and I couldn't have asked for a better way to end my first day here. The next morning, we grabbed some coffee at this really sick cafe called the Paramount Coffee Project to energize us for the day. Everything was going according to plan, until randomly, this happened.
So literally was just waiting on the tram station, and then out of nowhere, what's up, Nat? What's up, dude? Nat is my batchmate in Ateneo, and I literally haven't seen this guy in like 6 years probably. And then we just bump each other in a train station in Sydney. Taylor Swift, man, does crazy things to a city.
So Nat tagged along with us for the rest of the day to explore the city. Sydney boasts the largest natural harbor in the world with over 1,000 species of different marine life. And while I would have loved to scuba and see the wildlife up close, my tight budget and schedule wouldn't allow me. So I had to find another way to experience the sea life, and that was by eating them. The Sydney Fish Market is this massive structure by the bay that offers the freshest seafood in a canteen-like manner, and I couldn't wait to dig in.
Alright, so check out this feast. It is an absolute monster of a spread. First bite of the day, definitely gotta start fresh with the oysters. Squeeze with a lemon, Sydney Rock oysters, super fresh. Cheers. Wow, these are fire. Vibes are immaculate. Now let's hit up this sushi taco. Got some salmon over here, avocado, rice. Cheers. Wow, it's so fresh. Perfectly balanced. The grilled scallop, cheese, some roe over here, and probably some Japanese mayo as well. Perfect bite.
Oh, is that from A's?
Oh yeah. Soft shell crab, tartar sauce.
Just remove it and the scissors.
Now, while my belly might have been stuffed with the delicious fresh seafood, I was still craving a real animal experience with the species that call this harbor home. So, we walked through the beautiful Darling Harbor, grabbed another cup of joe, and made our way to the Sydney Sea Life Aquarium.
So we're here now in the Sydney Aquarium. Got a bunch of cool freshwater fish over here. They had a couple of pretty dope endemic fishes and a bunch of other fish that I don't know what they're called. Unfortunately, not all of the aquariums here have labels, but it doesn't really matter. It's still an amazing experience. Costs us about 50 euros each for entrance. And yeah, this is the awesome monster fish tank. So you see all of the really, really dope monster freshwater fish, as you can see over here. And right up top, you got this cool looking, I don't even know what it is, some kind of dinosaur. Super cool. And on to the next exhibit.
The aquarium hosts over 700 different species, many of which are endemic to Australia. My personal favorite had to be the dugong, another species which can be found in the Philippines, and we even got to catch an educational talk about their importance to the ecosystem. I love visiting the aquarium not only because I got to see the animals up close, but also due to the fact that each ticket aids in the conservation and protection of the many sea life that reside in the Australian waters. From there, we grabbed some delicious ice cream at Anderson's and made our way to the Chinese Friendship Garden. This is a serene oasis tucked in the middle of the city that was built to symbolize the friendship between Sydney and Guangzhou and has no entrance fee. It had a lot of intricate artifacts, peaceful ponds, and lush flora. But what I came here for had nothing to do with any of that. I visited to see one of Australia's most iconic reptiles, the Australian water dragon. These dragons can be found throughout the entire east coast of Australia. Their presence actually indicates a healthy water system in the area, and despite their scary appearance, they pose no threats to humans whatsoever. Don't believe me? Well, let me prove it to you.
Hello, bud.
Oh, he's chill.
Oh, chill. Oh my god. Relax, you're okay. So he'll freak out for like a while. So what's really interesting with lizards is like really gonna be like defensive, and then after a while, unlike mammals, they do not have adrenaline. So there we go. They chill out after like a couple of seconds, and oops. Yeah, you're good, bud. Wow, he's not defensive at all. He's not showing his mouth. And yeah, this is definitely a bucket list animal of mine here in Australia. And it's so cool. I've seen one of these guys in captivity like one time. And something really unique about water dragons is, of course, they have their stripes down here that are mainly characteristics. And of course, the red belly that you can see over here. That indicates that they are a water dragon. Totally sick animal. They are agamid lizards. So bearded dragons, frilled dragons all come from the same family. And yeah, look how prehistoric, straight up dinosaur. So I don't want to stress them out too long, so I'm going to put them back. And totally awesome experience. If you want to see some water dragons, come to the Chinese Friendship Park. Alright, go bro.
Like, wow, you're really brave.
Seeing these dragons in a wildish setting was a dream come true, and it made me wish that we had more of these green spaces in my home city of Manila. With adrenaline-filled veins, I headed over to embark on my first solo adventure of this trip. I headed to Newtown, a hip, culturally diverse part of Sydney, to watch one of my favorite bands of all time, Kings of Convenience.
Alright, I just arrived here in Enmore. Unfortunately, nobody else wanted to watch with me, so I will be watching alone, which is totally fine. I've been wanting to have my own solo experience here as well, and pretty cool and dope area anyway. The doors open, I think at like 8:15. It's currently 7:45 last I checked. So maybe I'll grab a beer while waiting and see where that takes us. So we just got back to Surrey Hills, and wow, what an experience, man. It's so crazy to go to a concert by yourself. It's a totally different experience. You could just like fully immerse yourself. I was dancing the whole time since I didn't have to give a shit about what anybody thinks. It also helps knowing that I'm in a different country so that nobody fucking knew me, and it was a ball. But yeah, super amazing experience. And now I'm back in the apartment and gonna rest up for another epic day.
And with that, I snuggled up to my roomie Gizmo and called it a day.
Say goodnight, Giz. Oh, look at that face. Look at that face. You're so cute. Say goodnight.
The next morning, Ateden and I set out to do all of Sydney's classic tourist activities.
What's up, guys? Beautiful day here in Sydney, and it's my first time here in the Opera House. So this is the iconic landmark of Sydney. Pretty much once you see it, you can't really think of any other place other than Sydney. Here with Ateden, of course. First time actually doing the really touristy stuff, because like the past couple of days we've just been eating. I think like the design of this was supposed to be based off a boat, right? Or sail? Or are they just called sails?
Yeah, they're called sails.
First time I'm really actually getting to see the water. Of course, we went to like the fish market yesterday, but yeah, this is the Sydney Harbor. And it's crazy, look at that water, so freaking blue. Unlike Manila Bay where you can't see shit, except for maybe a couple of carcasses. Here you can actually, and it doesn't smell at all. Super fresh. And honestly, like when it's sunny like this, I kind of get when people say like, oh, what a lovely day. Because this is actually a lovely day. If this was in Manila and like with this heat, no chance. Probably like 5 minutes under the sun maximum. But yeah, Sydney Harbor, baby. Woo!
From the Opera House, we made our way to one of the most culturally rich parts of the city, the Rocks.
Alright, so we're here in the Rocks. Ateden gave the history a while ago, so I'm not even gonna bother saying it. So enjoy some B-roll as she explains the history of this place.
Set sail for Australia. Then when they found Australia, they decided this will be the colony of Britain, and they decided for all the convicts to move here.
Right.
So when they first moved here, the first buildings were jail cells. Some cafes that have kept the jail cells, so like literally you go in and they're like arches where the jail cells would have been, kind of like, remember Alcatraz in a building. They still kept it, so you can they have put tables there, and it's kind of cool. All like people who have stolen were banished from England. They were sent here, and then this was the first establishment that they made. That was the first fleet, which was all convicts. Fun fact, Mary Poppins, the author, she's English, but they actually came from here.
After the Rocks, I made my way to Circular Quay to meet up with some more friends to head to one of Sydney's most iconic beaches, Manly.
Alright, so what's up, y'all? Back with the recurring character, Nat. But yeah, we're on a ferry on the way to Manly Beach. Also, with new characters in the vlog, Sab and Bianca. Say what's up, guys. And check out this view. I mean, come on, guys. This is definitely the best way to go and see Sydney. Perfect day to be out on the boat, and make sure that whenever you head to Sydney, you hop on one of these just so that you can see the city from a different perspective.
And after a short 20-minute ferry ride, we finally made it to Manly. Manly has a really cool surf town vibe to it, and we kick things off by enjoying some ice-cold beers in a sick rooftop bar and strolling through the scenic coastal walkway with a little buzz. There are even some random turkeys throughout the path, and apparently you can even find some penguins in the area if you're lucky. It's amazing how much wildlife you can find in this bustling city if you just make the time and effort to visit these green spaces. I couldn't have asked for a better way to start my Sydney experience, and we capped it off by making our way to our final spot, Shelley Beach.
Alright, guys, so this is Manly Beach and just enjoying this late sunset. So this beach specifically is called Shelley Beach, and you just see a bunch of different locals hanging out, just chilling, whether it's with families or with friends. Just hang out and enjoying this beautiful sunset here at Manly Beach. Right now, as I am recording this, is 7 p.m. So can you just imagine, it's 7 p.m. and the sun is still out and shining, and you really get to understand why people say it's a beautiful day here in Sydney. So if you like this type of content, make sure to check out my next video, which will be on the Taronga Zoo. So for all my animal lovers out there, make sure to check that out, because I'll be covering every single exhibit, letting you guys know as much as I possibly can about each animal. And of course, if you like this vlog style content, then make sure to hit that subscribe as well, as I'll be showing you guys all of the other stuff that I do here in Sydney, and as well as the veterinary conference. And as always, I'll see you all in the next one. Deuces!